Hi fellow plant people! Welcome back if you are returning to my channel. If you are new, my name is Jen. I go by The Leafy Geek here. Also on Instagram is where you can find me. It's been a week, huh? Aside from all of the stuff going on, and by stuff I mean the absolute worst that our country has to offer. Long story short, not going to get into it too much here. Hound Dog is continuously having a rough year. We thought we were going to leave that behind us in 2020. Turns out, nope. So Hound Dog hurt her knee. Basically, it's the dog equivalent of the human ACL in her knee. It's a ligament, and it is surgery. So we're going to have to handle that in a couple of months. It's as soon as they could get us in. Right now, she's just hopping around on 3 legs, and I feel terrible. Yesterday was a really hard day. I had to deal with post-sedation Hound Dog, which is not fun. We had to take her to the vet to get some procedures done that she needed to be sedated for. And when she woke up, she wasn't really sure what was going on or who I was or where she was, and it was not great. So she's back to normal today for the most part. She's just resting. The goal is going to be to keep her resting a lot. She's not supposed to do anything crazy, no running. Guys, it's just been a rough week. I think a lot of us can relate. So I know I'm not alone in that. As such, I don't really have a video planned this week. I have ideas. I have a lineup and notes of some really fun videos that I want to do. I just couldn't do any of them this week. It wasn't going to happen. And I didn't want to not post something because I really like, connecting with you guys on here. But I think it's just going to have to be a little what's going on in my Plantverse video. That's what it's going to be. We'll just wander around. I'll show you some things that are kind of new. I'll show you some things that might have changed since the last time I've showed you around my house. We'll just kind of go from there, and we'll see what this turns into. If it's just a vlog, fine. Cool. Probably won't have a theme. It's just a Saturday exploration of the Leafy Geek's home and the plants. So let's do that, okay? I'm sorry. That's all I've got, you guys. All right, let's go. Let's start in here. This is where my seed starting is going to start. I had it all set up in my the furnace room of my building, of my duplex, but it's actually kind of cold in there, maybe a little bit too cold. So I had to rethink that a little bit and moved it in here for now. As you can see, I have my grow lights all set up. I just wanted to get them plugged in to see if this would even work. And it's kind of a small space. I have one more grow light that I picked up that I haven't hooked up yet. It looks just like this one. So yeah, these are the red and blue grow lights. Those worked fine for me last year. We'll see kind of how that works this year. I've not tried to start flowers from seed, so I don't really know if these lights are going to cut it or not. So I might readjust or rethink that depending on how they do. But yeah, this is kind of where we're going to have that set up, and we'll see if I need to even expand or not. Getting excited though. I've got some seeds on order, and they should be here within a week or two. This also arrived. This is the plant journal from Thrasher. I know that he's been featured on Pam's Pretty Plants on her channel, on Pam's channel. Really cool. That's where actually I got the idea to maybe go ahead and try this, because she, I think, has 2 of these, and so I'm definitely down to try journaling. But this is going to be amazing. This is really going to be helpful, I think, for what I'm planning on doing with my garden projects. And then maybe I can also just take a look at regular houseplant care and see how I can incorporate that into this book. Because I'm a writer, I'm a planner, I really like having stuff like this to be able to work from. So this is awesome. Awesome, awesome. It's a really, really beautiful book also. So again, that's Tyler Thrasher. I'll put his link in the description below. I think I know he's got an Instagram. I'll link any other sites I can find for him. Also hanging out at my desk here, I have a few ornaments here. Got these online. I'm going to be putting them together to see if I can create some sort of larger structure from them. This is going to go in my biOrb. Oh, I'll show you that in a second. I got myself a biOrb for Christmas. Or my birthday, one of the two. But yeah, really kind of collecting all of the ingredients to be able to plant that thing. So I will show you more of that in the future, so stay tuned. But these are part of that project. And then over here, I've got a couple of plants that will be eventually going into that thing. So I've got a beautiful orchid here. These are, oh, I don't even know if I know how to pronounce it. Let's see. Paphiopedilum Parisienne Venus is this variety of Paphiopedilum orchid. And if it blooms, awesome. Check that out. I can't even with these leaves. They're so cool. I'm a foliage girl for sure. And then I also got a couple of cryptanthus from, oh, I should mention, I got this beautiful orchid from Life with Orchids. They are on Etsy. So I will make sure that's linked in the description too. Over here, I've got a couple of cryptanthus that are also going to go into that little project. And I got these from Squirrel Run Farm. This is also off of Etsy. Cute little guys. As far as what's going on in my propagation box, got a couple of things here. Definitely have a few items that are going to be used in the biOrb project. So I have some moss here. This is going to go in as kind of ground cover. And then I've got a really cool bromeliad here. I think I got this from Josh's Frogs. That's kind of a story. I ordered 3 bromeliads. I got one. They refunded me, but they hadn't emailed me at all that they didn't have the other 2, but they were listed on their site and I was able to purchase them. So I had a refund show up on PayPal, and then my lone bromeliad arrived and I was like, what the? So that was kind of funny. Funny. Then I also have this, so this is a story. My big Peperomia polybatria, I accidentally dropped, what did I drop on it? I can't even remember, but it wasn't even that heavy, but definitely took a chunk off of one of the big stems. My polybatria, I'll show you in a second, is basically a tree. Actually, I'll just show you right now. This guy. So, this poor Peperomia, right here, that's where the boo-boo happened. But as you can see, it's already sprouting a new leaf there, which is kind of cool. So there's a new growth point happening already on this thing. But the biggest piece that came off, I decided to just propagate, and we got roots, friends. A lot of roots, actually. It's pretty cool. So I'll probably stick this back in that same pot when it's a little bit farther along. Then I've just got a mishmash of things in here, kind of leftover propagations. I don't really like to propagate too much in the winter time, just because I don't have any heat mats, and it just doesn't, I don't know, limited success with props in the winter. Oh, I should show you too. This is what's left. This is what's left of my Peperomia elongata. It just declined, guys. It was so sad to see. I tried so hard to save that thing. So I got some props in here. We'll see if they root up. Very, very, very sad day when that thing had to go. That was kind of depressing. Sorry, guys. It's not the most exciting piece of my plant life right now, this propagation box, but things are still in there. Things are still doing fine. My living room has kind of turned into Hound Dog's hospital ward in a way. Got it. That's her Christmas present right there. It's the most comfortable thing in the world. I sometimes lay on it. That's maybe more than you wanted to know. That's usually where you can find Hound Dog. Hi, baby. You are such a good, brave girl. Yes, you are. Okay. No more camera, huh? So this is really what I wanted to show you. My living room. I can't remember if I featured these in a video yet or not. I've definitely posted this on Instagram. But I put up, finally, I've had these Highland track lights from Soltech Solutions for, God, probably the better part of 6 months. And they've just been sitting on my floor in here. I've been sitting right there. But now they are on my ceiling. And I'm able to finally put plants on this side of my living room, which is amazing. So I moved some of my bigger philodendrons over here, kind of trying to figure out if that is the best plant for the middle space there, because I feel like I need something more dramatic there. But over here, then in this corner, I'm still able to put plants over here, which I'm thrilled with. So again, some philodendrons, and then I put 2 of my cast iron plants in this corner, because cast iron plants are cast iron. They can pretty much go anywhere in your house that's not in full sun. Yeah, they'll do just fine. So I really love this part of my house now. It just feels a little bit more balanced in here. Oh, there's my lemon lime Maranta doing its thing. I didn't want to put it by a radiator, so we're trying it here. It's also kind of a good place for it because it's still kind of quarantining. It's pretty new, so I don't want to, spread anything around. But it just feels a lot more balanced now. I have a lot of plants over here, and now I have plants over here, and it just feels more cohesive in here, which I love. So speaking of, let's take a look at some stuff over here. So these were probably the last time you saw these 2 things. They were in my prop box. These were cuttings of 2 of my Hoyas. I have my Hoya Bella and then my Hoya Chelsea. Both were kind of declining, so I took a bunch of cuttings and was rooting those, which is a good thing I did because my main Bella did end up, don't know what it had. If it had root rot, it might have had root rot. Things just yellowed and didn't bounce back off the main plant. But I had all of these cuttings that I was able to plant up, so I basically have a Bella, a brand new Bella, and this one's doing great. I just have it in my living room for now. Same with the Chelsea. The Chelsea I had was 2 long vines, and they were both just, they took turns declining and weren't doing well, so I ended up chopping the vines down to a couple of node cuttings each, and rooted them all up, and I think all of them rooted. All of the cuttings that I took from those vines rooted, and now they're in one pot, so it's a fuller little 4-inch pot of Hoya Chelsea. I think this is new. We've got some new leaves happening here. It's pretty cool. I love plants. I love Hoyas. They're really forgiving, and then when things go south, you can tend to salvage things. Anything else happening over here? Just have some good growth happening with, this is a little Hoya Curtisii. It's the second one I picked up from Steve's Leaves. I've gotten both of my Curtisiis from Steve's Leaves. My bigger one is doing phenomenal still. I couldn't resist when I saw that they had these available again. I had to pick up another one, because why not, right? That one's doing pretty good. Got some kind of, deading on the ends of some of these older vines, but it definitely found new growth points, so mighty pleased with this thing. And all of the begonias are looking pretty good over here. Haven't lost one yet. Yay! I'm 6 for 6 so far. Sweet. And then, of course, I'll show you this guy. This is my vanilla orchid. I didn't have any more sphagnum moss, so I ended up just kind of keeping the original sphagnum moss pole that I had created, and then I stuck a bamboo trellis in there for the vines to just twine around if they weren't going to go up the moss pole. This kind of contains it a little bit, so it's a little bit nicer. More compact, if you will. So this is a pretty fun shelf. I really like it. I'm glad that I have this setup, that I thought to put this shelf on top of it here. And I'm really glad that I moved that other shelf out of here. There was a shelf of plants, and that whole shelf of plants weren't doing awesome at all in this little corner. And I needed the shelf for seed starting anyway, so it just kind of worked out. Just consolidated, got, had to kind of say goodbye to some of the plants that weren't doing super well, or I moved them to other places, and they are perking up, so that is good. Walk down the hallway here to my bedroom. You can see I had to put all these rugs down. I'm trying to keep her off the hardwood floors, so she needs traction to be able to get places in my apartment. So, poor pup. Here's the plant room. There is the main event. As you can see, I have not done anything with it since I got it. I just put it in the location. I kind of decided on the location it was going to go. I originally wanted this in my living room, but then I realized I was putting those track lights in and kind of wanted to save this biOrb for a space where it just didn't receive a lot of direct light, in a corner that didn't. So then it was going to go in my room, my bedroom, but then I figured, this is the plant room. I want to be in here to enjoy these, and it would just look really nice in that corner, so that's where it's going to go. Other than that, I'll be planting that, and I'll be sure to make a video and document that process when that happens in the near future. I think I have everything that I want to go in there now at this point, so that's good. I'll be able to plant. But I do have just, continuations of these Hoyas that are growing pretty actively. Look at this. It's my Camphorifolia, has this huge vine happening. It's pretty cool. And then this is just kind of a glorious mishmash of Hoya in this corner, which I love. There's really not a whole lot going on in here. I think that's new. The one thing over on this shelf, though, I'm not sure if I featured this in a video yet, but I did end up putting all of my smaller Hoyas on this shelf in my plant room. I wanted them to go all in one space together. I had a few smaller Hoya in my bedroom, and I had just Hoya kind of in other parts of my home. I wanted them to all be together, and that seems to be working. So I've got them under grow lights here. That's a project for today. I'm going to be adding those to the lower shelves here to brighten these up a little. But things are doing well. Things are doing really, really well in here. Look at my globulosa has this brand new leaf that popped out so fast. This growth point just blew up, which is awesome. Everything else is looking pretty good. This was my Potsii Chiang Mai. Probably featured this in a video or two. Sorry, I can't really get a good angle on it. There we go. But this, I was worried about losing it because it got to me and it started to decline right away, and I think the roots just weren't established, or I don't know what happened exactly. But this was one that I rescued. I put it in water and it reestablished really solid roots, and now we've got this vine happening with these 2 new leaves on it, so that's awesome. Marillae is doing really good in this corner. Got New growth point on it there. And then, what else do we have going on that's cool? Everything's cool on the shelf, come on. Oh, all sorts of good stuff. Just vines everywhere. Everything is vining. My Lagiorum back there is doing the thing. My Finlaysonii here is doing the thing. This interesting little bebe that we thought was a Cagayanensis, which is not a Cagayanensis. It's a Pimentaliana, I think is how you say that. I'll have to check the name. But there's it's going to be a video coming up on this guy, and it's funny story. But look at 2 growth points on this guy right now. Happy camper. Oh, and this is my Hoya caudata vining out. Yay! I love Hoya. Alright, in my bedroom, this is where my jungle cacti have ended up. In my west-facing window, I've got a grow light right here. So they receive some pretty decent light. I know it looks, the camera makes it look a lot darker than it is. It does get some really good light though from that window. Kind of just enough, just what they want. So everything looks pretty good over in this corner. Got my poor banana that's hanging on. This was outside all summer and now it's just kind of doing whatever. But the mystery of what these little nubs were, I think, is getting solved. I think they're just offshoots. So I think this banana is going to have more than one stalk coming up out of the base there. So that's interesting. But it does continue to grow, so I just keep the soil watered really well and does what it needs to do. Really wasn't expecting this thing to make it. But it's doing okay. That was kind of fun. Thank you guys for coming with me. I really do appreciate you. And I saw that we're almost to 300 subscribers on this channel, which just makes me feel really, really good. And happy that you guys found me and that we're kind of creating this little planty community here in a huge YouTube universe that is full of planty communities, but I'm happy to have you. I really am. And I promise we will have some good videos coming up that are going to be really fun and interesting, and hopefully you'll really like them. Thanks again for joining me today, and until next time, enjoy your plants.